Are you following me?
Yes.
So it is not because you attend to church every Sunday. It is not because you are known to be a Christian. It is not because you are known to be God-fearing. You serve the Lord. It depends on how you live your relationship before the Lord. Amen. Okay. Unfortunately, I have talked to one of my classmates who is a seaman. He's working in the ship. He got 5 children back home, and their relationship with his wife was just broken because they got a term that his wife was playing in a different team or another team. His wife is having an affair with another man. So, of course, his natural reaction is to cut his provision to his wife. Amen. And so it is, if we don't have a good relationship with God, his first reaction would be to withhold the blessings he used to give unto us. Amen.
Amen.
Are you following me?
Amen.
So, in other words, in short, we need to do what is right.
Amen.
You cannot keep writing prayer requests, you cannot keep praying and asking for God for something, and you do not do the things that is right before God, and receive the promise of God. No, it doesn't happen like that. Yes? Okay, the second thing we need to do is to know what we have. Pastor, make it clear. Okay? Knowing what you have is the best way to know what you don't have. Do you agree with me?
Amen.
If you don't check, if you don't know what you have, you won't know what you don't have. Agree? If I ask you, do you have money in your wallet?
Yes.
If you don't know, you could say yes. If you don't know that you don't have or you have, you would say you couldn't even say that you don't have. The best way to know that you have, or the best way to know that you don't have, is to know what you have. Am I making it clear?
Yes.
Okay, another, examine yourself what is lacking. You should know this very popular verse wherein it says, ask and you shall receive. Where is it? What verse is it? My goodness. Just for that simple and popular verse, you don't know where is it?
Matthew.
Huh? Matthew? No? Ask and you shall receive. You don't even know, my goodness, what kind of Christian are you? You should know that. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, ask and you shall receive. For those who ask shall... Did you say Matthew 7? Okay, sorry, I didn't get that. Okay. Sorry. So, after that, he said, if after asking, we need to seek. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. So, when we ask and we don't receive, we should seek for the reasons why. Yeah? So examine ourselves instead of blaming the Lord, instead of losing your temper, instead of losing your faith and hope in the Lord. Examine ourselves. Okay. She said she got nothing in the house but jar of oil. Let me say, how would you react, Sister Ma? Let's say you're in the case of the widow that your husband, although your husband died, and your 2 sons will be taken by the creditor to be his slave. And then, when you ask for help, the servant of the Lord will ask you, what have you got? How would you react? How would you respond? Huh? Okay, of course, you will say everything that you got. Just like the widow, she said to Elijah, I have nothing in the house but a jar of oil. Let me ask you, why did Elijah ask the widow like that? That widow of the husband?
Is the only thing that she has.
Okay, Elijah didn't know that the only thing that she has. But my point is, why does she have to ask, what does this widow have?
Because he didn't know.
Pastor, kasi ang widow, pag namatay yung asawa, wala lahat ng ano. Kaya
Okay, usually widows has nothing within themselves when their husband died. Okay? Okay. The reason for that is Elisha knows for God to bless your lives, it is God's principle that He will use what we have. Are you following me? It is God's principles to use what we have so that that insufficient supply, when we give it to God into God's hands, it will become sufficient. I will explain that later. Okay, another thing that we need to have is to believe in the Lord. Okay. Could you imagine yourself, okay, let's continue with man. You're the widow, of course, you're called widow because your husband died, and here is your two sons, they will be taken soon by the creditor. And then, after Elisha, or the man of God asked, what have you got? And then he will tell you, ask for borrowed empty vessels from your neighbor. How would you respond? Will you do it?
If I could have seen first that I would guess the widow. I would ask first to myself. Bakit ko yung first na ano, bakit ko ako hihingi ng...
Okay, she will ask herself, why does she have to ask for vessels? Okay, do you find it strange? Or awkward, or is it right? Okay, let's go on. 2 Chronicles 20 verse 20, I have shared this verse last Sunday. So they rose early in the morning and went out into the wilderness of Tekoa, and they went out. Jehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Judah, and you inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord your God, and you shall be established. No problem about that. When it comes to believing God, there's no problem. We don't have problem about that. But when it comes to believing His prophets and you shall prosper, lots of Christians are having problem with that.
Yes.
So when Elisha, the man of God, told this widow, ask or borrow empty vessels from your neighbor, unfortunately, this widow obeyed. I'll tell you about that later. Is it God's, okay? The reason why he told the widow to ask what does he got is it is God's principle to use what we have to bless us. I'll give you many examples. Feeding the 5,000 men. How many loaves of bread and how many fishes were used? 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. Okay, Jesus said, okay, by the power of my Father, let there be bread, and there was bread. Did it happen like that?
No, they give thanks.
No. You didn't get me. Oh, of course, they gave thanks, but what did he do before feeding the 5,000 men?
Asking what they have.
Asking what they have, and he took the insufficient supply from the people's hands or from the boys' hand and make it and bless it, make it sufficient for all of them. Amen. It did happen like Genesis 1 verse 3 that it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. Jesus then said, and let there be bread, and there was bread. No, He took the insufficient supply from the hands of the believers, from the hands of the people, blessed it with His hands, and made it sufficient.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, another one, it's just not the 5,000 men, feeding the 4,000 men on Matthew chapter 15, verse 32 and 39. In verse 34, he again asks, how many loaves have you got? Do you have?